When I was young, people wanted ColourPop to release more palettes. All right, Grandma, let's get you to bed. Hello, welcome. I'm Hannah. Today we're going to be talking about a time from the past when ColourPop and their monochromatic palettes were all the rage, and people were like, do orange next, do green next, do yellow next. That's where we're stopping today. We're talking about the yellow one. This is the Honey palette. I've had it since it launched. I loved this palette when I got it. I ate it up. I thought of it fondly for many years. I realized that many of those years that I was thinking of it fondly, I actually wasn't using it. And today, I want to see how it stacks up now against my current collection. This palette did teach me that I like a yellow look. When these were coming out and they were all the rage, I would check every time to see if they were vegan, and the only ones of that original group in my mind that were vegan were the green one, which I bought, the orange one, which I bought, and the yellow one, which I bought. So pretty much I would have bought any of them that I could have, but the yellow was definitely my favorite, and I learned from that yellow was like my step into neutrals. It didn't feel quite as punchy as doing a colorful look, but it was still the most colorful end of neutrals in my mind. I always disliked, though, that this palette didn't have a deepening shade. You can see how light and mid-toned this palette is. And yeah, I pulled this out a couple months ago and I just felt like it wasn't performing in the way it used to, or my tastes have changed and like advanced way beyond it. So I thought it would be fun today to go through my collection, look at all my yellow shades, make a palette that kind of rivals this one today, and see how it stacks up. So I'm excited for it. We're also going to do this eye look later in the video. So let's just switch over to my hands and get into it. Okay, I got a big pile of palettes here with my Honey palette on top. And here is what it looks like. I still remember the fond feelings of looking into this that I held for so long, but when I look into it now, it just looks kind of like old, very similarly toned, and I really believe that it's not going to be as special as my memory has made it out to be. And also, again, as I look through my shadows, I'm not necessarily looking to dupe this. I mean, it will be similar because yellow is yellow, but the goal is just to see what kind of yellow focused palette my single shadows can create. If it makes sense for it to be larger than 9 pans, then it will be. If it's less, it might be less because I don't think I have that many yellows, but yeah, this is kind of like the marker to beat, I guess we could say. Okay, I guess I'm gonna make it in here. In here I have some Pretties for Your Face shadows and copacetic. You know, it doesn't look like there's any yellows in here, but I am interested in a bronze just because this palette definitely has like that bronze in there. I don't know if this will be the one, but I feel like the shade of Thankful does look pretty, so I'm going to include that for now. And also Moby is a shadow that I really like. It's my favorite shadow from Pretties for Your Face. It's like a nice one and done. I don't always use it as a one and done, but it has that option. I like that it's kind of like a satin with some sparkles. I could use it in my crease. I could use it in my lower lash line. It's just like an interesting shade. And I feel like when this is blended out, it does look a little yellow. Okay, this is my Menagerie shades, my Adept shades, Tarte, and I'm gonna pull this one out. I actually swatched this in a video recently, and I was thinking how this is like a good building block yellowy matte, so here's its time to shine. Okay, Divina Shimmers. I feel like I might have to come back to this because I do have a bunch that are kind of like on the outskirts of yellow, but definitely lean orange. Like I could see this one, I believe that's Sunset Sands from one of their newer collections. I also like Centaurus. This would be in place of Thankful, but they are pretty different. Huh. Yeah, I might have to come back to this and see. But there's nothing like yellowy enough for me to feel like I can't go past this round without it. And then here's my Luxie mattes. I'm gonna grab this one out. This is the one that I swatched along with that Menagerie shadow, and it would make a good yellowy crease, I think. And I'm also gonna grab a dark brown. Maybe this one looks more like the right tone, more of like a neutral brown. It does look pretty reddy on camera, but we're gonna grab this one for now. And then also I have these two Divina Shimmers. These are both like the basic $6 shimmer formula, but I do like those two shades. And I'm gonna grab out this like chocolatey brown for now. Okay, here are my large pans. Doesn't look very yellow to me. I guess like in a world, I could see Electric Unicorn having like a little bit of yellow to it. I don't know if it comes up on camera, but I can see it in person. But I definitely have better iridescence, and the large pan is obnoxious. Cleona. Oh, oh. Here is what I need. What I need is called embellishment. This, all right, I'm seeing it now. I feel like this is going to be like the heart of the palette. Right now, nothing is yellow. This is a brown palette, but now it looks like a yellow palette. Cool. I'm also going to grab out Corrosion. I don't know if it's going to stay, but it is like a beautiful gold. Okay, let's talk iridescence. And actually, now that I have this open, I wasn't even thinking about this Lucy shadow, but I will grab this out. This is Lick It, Slam It, Suck It, and it's an older shadow. I don't know if they even still have it, but it does make a nice light yellow inner corner. So we're going to take that. And then also, I think I have Light Year somewhere. Light Year from Terra Moons. I feel like this has a yellowy flip to it, so I'm going to include this also. If I didn't have those, I could see taking Nectar from Luxie, but I think the other two cover that. Okay, here's my Luxie palette. At the bottom, I have some shadows that I'm decluttering. I'm in the process of it, so we're just going to ignore those for now. But up here is all Luxie, and there is a beautiful yellow standout, which is Margarita. I really like the shadow. I haven't used it in a while, but this is what I need. And then there's all these like bronzies and everything. Actually, I'm going to pull out this one. This one looks like a nice tone. This is Honey Pot, so the name kind of works also. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it for now. I feel like I could probably plump up the palette with some things kind of on the outskirts if I needed to. Like, I think this is Oh Bother. Yeah, but I think this has more of like a pinkishness to it than I'm looking for. I don't think I need those. Gonna leave it there. Actually, what are you? Nah. Oh, this is Lemonhead. That's funny. So it has like a yellowy name, but I know from using this recently that it does lean a little green, and I'm looking to stay kind of like as true yellow as I can in here. If anything, leaning a little bit warm instead of a little bit cool. Here is my Terra Moons palette, and if you're seeing what I'm seeing, I have this bright neon yellow. I wasn't really thinking about this because this is such like a departure from the tone of yellow that I was looking at, but I am going to include it for now. Maybe that is like the pop that I need to like set it apart. And then also this one is Pollux. This is a shadow that I got kind of recently, but I haven't been loving it. I haven't really been using it much or thinking about it very much, but you know, it survived my recent round of decluttering. It might have a little bit more red to it than I want, but we'll try it out. Okay, we've almost made it through. This palette is some excess Luxie shadows that I couldn't put back yet because it's clogged up with the shadows I'm decluttering. Starburst looks pretty, but no, I think my other ones look better, so. And then finally, okay, yeah. In here, it's kind of a mishmash. I have some Shine by SD, some Sydney Grace, some ColourPop. So I'm going to pull out this Shine by SD Dangerous. I don't know if this will stick because I think of this as being a shadow that goes a little bit more green that I'm looking for, but we'll see how it looks, how many other yellows I have. And then I have this yellow matte from ColourPop. This is Take Flight. I've had this forever, but I do keep it around for, you know, all of my yellow matte needs, which doesn't come up very often, but I'm okay having it. Okay, so here is where we are, and this does look sufficiently yellow. I'm kind of excited about how this is going. Another look at the Honey for comparison. A complaint that I always had with this one was the lack of depth, and I always felt like I needed another palette to pull in with it to deepen it up, so it is nice that I can kind of like eliminate that issue in here. And this already, like before we refine it and organize it, it already looks way better than this one, in my opinion. I feel like I might end up just keeping all of them. I want the embellishment nail polish. I was watching Catherine B. Beauty's video about Cleona, and she had the embellishment nail polish and a couple of her nails. I want it. I'm sick of this, like, bright yellow nail polish. I just want shimmer. So we have 16 shadows. I could see this being either a 15 pan or a 12 pan, because I don't really see the need to, like, I don't know, decrease it dramatically or anything. But let's see what it looks like when we start putting it together. So I'm going to start with Terramoon's Light Year at the top. I always like having an iridescent in the first spot, so that works for me. And I'm going to put these two darker browns at the end. This is Triton from Divina and Bourbon from Luxie. Yeah, I could definitely benefit from a different tone of brown, but at the same time, some of these do have that warm lean, and maybe this will look good. And then I have Triton as an option for something like a little bit more neutral brown. So let's talk about a couple other definitelys. I'm definitely gonna do this matte to be like my crease color, this matte to be like my deepening color. You know, I think this is gonna be a 15 pan. I guess my biggest question is about like this Shine by SD yellow and some of the bronzes. I definitely want Moby. Okay, how about that? I think I kind of like it. So the only one that I left out is this Dangerous by Shine by SD. This is definitely like a lighter yellow. It definitely leans green, which is the biggest strike against it for this purpose. It's pretty, but today's not its day. I do definitely think that if I needed to, I could eliminate some, like one or two of these three bronzes. But if I were to do that, it would leave it a weird number. So I feel like I'd rather leave it this plumped up than have to eliminate even more in order to make it still like a cohesive little palette. But I do feel like this is like small enough. Like I feel like this is marketable. Like if a company was coming out with this palette in a formula that I liked, I could see myself wanting it. But I guess now I know I already have it, so whatever. Okay, I'm really excited for this part. I'm going to swatch these down my arm and then see where these kind of line up with these. I feel like it'd be fun to see how similar some are, which ones are like better in mine or which ones are spot on. And also it would definitely help with my decluttering process because I could imagine wanting to keep some of these shades, but I definitely don't think I'll be keeping all of them. Okay, so the whole color story as a whole, I like it. It's cohesive. I remember noting when I tried to use this palette a couple months ago, this glitter is definitely like not what it used to be. It's way messier. I think you could see in the pan, it's kind of like trying to escape. It used to just be like nicely emollient, kind of easy to use, easy to add on, and I did enjoy the effect of it. The swatch still looks nice though, but I feel like I don't know, Pollux might be similar. Also, some of the mattes don't look that nice in the swatch, which I feel like is a sign of age, because in my experience, ColourPop mattes are, I don't know, I really like them. Historically, they're pretty easy to use, pretty pigmented. This palette is old. It kind of like adds up to me that this looks so faint. Okay, so I'm going to start with these two deeper ones that are definitely beyond the palette. Yeah, you could see way deeper than anything we have in the ColourPop palette. Big points to this palette. I am happy I spaced these out because I'm thinking now I'm gonna try to like jam some in there to make it make sense. I think I want to swatch the three bronzy ones right around where the bronzy shadow is here. Yeah, these tones actually are pretty nicely different. Like different enough I actually could imagine them all being in this palette. Wow, right off the bat, that Luxie one definitely looks like the same idea but better. Cleona, gorgeous. Pretties for your face, different, but also really pretty. Okay, I'm definitely going to do Pollux up against that glitter. I hope this one impresses me because I would like to feel good decluttering that glitter. Yeah, I mean, I still think it's a little bit of like an odd formula. It feels thicker than other Terra Moon's shadows do, but it has like nice pigment and it does have that same kind of like yellow with red sparkle in it. And definitely a formula that's easier to use, but the glitter is like a topper and Pollux I don't think would function the same way, but I mean, I don't need it to function the same way. We have this, which I wouldn't call like a true yellow shimmer, but it is kind of like goldy also. I'm going to do Cleona Embellishment and Luxie Margarita near that one. Luxie Embellishment. Yeah, definitely the brown base is very different, and it even looks like a little bit green in the light. Margarita doesn't have that same base, so neither of them are spot on, but it's fine. I don't feel like it'd be any great tragedy to declutter that shadow. I'm going to skip the neon yellow for right now because I'm not sure where it makes sense to include it, but this Luxie one definitely looks like it'll go against that. Yeah, that's actually quite similar. Huh. I was kind of thinking this might be the hardest shadow to part with. Let me examine them. So the Luxie one is definitely like more of like a pressed down formula, which isn't always my preference. And the ColourPop one like has a little bit more texture, which I like. So that is the Luxie. Man, I need to stop filming with this as my background. And that's the ColourPop. Yeah, I don't know. I like things about the ColourPop, but at the same time, I haven't been wearing the ColourPop all over my lid. It's not the one that I reached for to put all over my lid anyway. And I know this Luxie shade functions well as an inner corner, and this might actually have too much base to be used as an inner corner. So maybe it's all for the best. And looking at them right here, they are hella similar. I think the ColourPop yellow might be a little bit between this yellow down here and this yellow up there, but I am going to swatch it with the one lower. Yeah, definitely gets the job done. Definitely swatches a little bit brighter, but that's okay. And then next to that one, I'm going to do this Menagerie shade, Menagerie Main. Yeah, and that one feels like a better version. This one might be a little bit more green to it, and this one's a little bit more orange, but they're definitely in the same family. I have these two mattes up here. This one definitely looks lighter in the pan, but I feel like this one swatched so sheerly that they look very similar on my hand. I'm gonna swatch this one though, Luxie Squash, here. This one's definitely a lot more orange, actually. Yeah, I could see why I said it would go so well with Maine, because they both do have kind of that, like, warmth to them. But, I mean, it would probably still work to get the idea across, right? I mean, and I guess anyway, because these two look kind of similar to this bright yellow, and those are the two that I believe I would go in with to do my crease, I could just use this bright yellow as my crease and then kind of neutralize it with these other brownie shades in there. So I might not even like need this one practically in a look, unless I wanted to go for the more warmth angle. Okay, and then the three that I didn't swatch yet definitely don't have direct comparisons. I'm going to put Terra Moon's Light Year, or maybe I'll try to fit Moby up there too. Pretty Sphere Face Moby, Terra Moon's Light Year, what are you called? Terra Moon's Land of the Stars. I mean, that does look really nice together. Like, it's kind of funny. It's like I could sit here and nitpick differences between these shadows and these shadows all day. But if someone was like, which palette would you want? I feel like it's so clear to me that this is like so beautiful and varied, and it goes along a couple different pathways, but they're still in the yellow forest, and I really like it. I feel like it has like the right amount of mattes, and now that I had my realization about this versus this in my crease, I feel like the looks I can make are even more varied. This has been very informational. I had gone back and forth a little bit about what I was going to do with this palette today. I thought it might be possible that like it would seem clear that I want to get rid of some and keep others, but right now I'm not thinking so much about decluttering individual shades as I am thinking about how, like, you know, Exhibit A looks. So I think I am going to hold on to this until we do the palette declutter, which will come sometime within the next couple of weeks or months. That way I'm giving myself a chance to reconsider, to actually use this and make sure I feel in love and I don't have like a sudden change of heart for something I used to think of so fondly. And if I still feel the way I do right now about this, when the declutter actually happens, then it'll be decluttered. But I feel super good at this moment because this is so gorgeous. So we're gonna switch back over to my face and smear some of this gorgeousness on my eyes. Okay, I just have some eye primer on. We're going to dive right in. I did just wake up, so if you thought that I look and sound tired, you're right. I am. I do. We're going to start with this ColourPop matte in the crease, Take Flight. I'm going to go for the more kind of yellowy look, but I feel like we're going to deepen it up a little bit too, because that's one of the things I'm so excited to do with this palette. Yeah, I was concerned about the age of this, but it does look really nice in the crease. And I know this is probably going to be the most bright shadow in this look. I'm just going to go right into Main from Menagerie to deepen up the outer V. Yeah, this shadow is way more orange, but still in the family. Super pigmented. And to complete the deepening, I'm going to use Trident from Divina, the darker brown shimmer. I'm not totally blending into the yellow crease because I want to preserve it as much as possible, so I don't mind that it's kind of like a check mark. It's like a swoosh on the outer V. Okay, let's do a couple more shimmers. I'm next going to go in with Honey Pot from Luxie, right next to Trident, kind of on top of it too. Oh, that looks really pretty. Okay, and then we need a lid shimmer. And I think I'm gonna do Pollux from Terra Moons. I haven't done this one in a while. Yeah, I can instantly see that reddishness to it, but I think it works. Okay, cool. I'm digging it. I still have to do my inner corner and my lower lash line, but I'm going to do the rest of my makeup first, and we'll be right back. Okay, my base is down, and we're gonna go into the lower lash line. I was observing, I like this swoosh more than I like this swoosh, and then I tried to like make it a little bit higher, but it just doesn't come to as nice of a point as this one does. But it's okay. I don't care. It's okay. I'm gonna start the lower lash line with Pretties for Your Face Moby. I like the shade. I like using it on my lower lash line. I feel like I could definitely do something more colorful, but I just want to see how this looks, and if I don't like how it looks, I'll change it as needed. Cute. Ooh, I love this in my lower lash line. I probably am going to deepen it up, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I love using this for my lower lash line. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of Divina Trident, that dark brown shimmer, to deepen it up and connect it to the upper half. This shadow is a little messy for the lower lash line. I'm going to be ultra gentle on the other side. Okay, and then for my inner corner, I do have two options. I think I am going to go with the Luxie one. I haven't used this one in a little while, and I feel like Lightyear might be like a little bit too icy, and I like the tone of Lick It, Slam It, Suck It. In general, I find that I like inner corner shades that have a little bit of a base because they're not quite as stark white as iridescents that are going to look white in some lights. Yeah, I feel like this one's kind of like an easier gradient, and especially because there's so much going on in the eyes, I don't need the inner corner to be like such a pop, you know? Okay, cute. So there's the eyeshadow. I'm going to once again finish up the look, and we'll be right back. And here is the finished look. I like it. This is what I like about these yellow tones. Using them, it's a color, but to me, something about it still feels neutral. You know, like if I had this look all purple, it would scream color, but because it's yellow, I feel like it's just like a little bit easier to wear. This side still is pissing me off a little bit. Usually once I have the mascara on and everything, I don't care at all about the application issues, but that does bother me a little bit, but I'll just have to like talk from this side. On my lips, I just used this ColourPop Oogie Boogie lipstick. I used a little bit of dark brown eyeliner, but only on the outer half, and that's pretty much all that I did in the last couple minutes. Yeah, looking at these palettes, I'm really like, honey, could never. I feel like this was a great starter palette for the idea. I don't know if I would have been so inspired by yellows had I not gotten this years ago, but this is definitely where I'm at right now, and I'm excited to have this together. I feel like I'm going to keep this palette together for quite a while, especially because it's yellows, and pretty much all of my yellows are in here. I'll know that instead of reaching into my brand separated palettes to find a yellow, I'll just reach into my yellow palette, find a yellow. and I think I will reach for them more. So that's cool. That's gonna be everything for today though. I hope this was fun to watch. If you're interested in seeing me do other colors, I'd be down for that. I do have one other of these still intact that I would like to do like a similar type of thing for, but I could even do it for other colors beyond that. That's definitely on my mind too. Definitely let me know if you're interested. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And that's gonna be everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.